I think it was a well thought out. He thought through it very well. I think the president had, first of all, let me congratulate him. He has fought through it, and he is now the president and commander in chief. He said on the night of the election, on the night of the day he was inaugurated, he took oath of office that he's going to bear the cross, and we should not pity him. Those would help us to understand that it was well thought out. From the moment he was declared president-elect, he is well aware of the issues on the front burner. He was, until his election, and perhaps he remains the leader of the All Progressive Congress, a political party that has been in leadership since 2015. And he has been quite close to the former president, Muhammadu Buhari. So I believe that it was strategic. If you look or take a cursory look at the manifestos of the top three political contenders at the 2023 presidential election, Atiku Abubakar was very clear that subsidy regime has to go. Peter Obi was also clear that Tinubu, all three of them were very clear on, that there is need for subsidy to go. What each of them did not say clearly were their strategy on how to remove subsidy. However, Tinubu has his job well cut out for him. I expect that it's a plus for him to have, a smooth transition from a government of the same party to him that is also of the same party. He has been a politician. He has been long in the system. He understands the terrain. The interesting thing again, I like us to have at the back of our mind is that in 2012, Tinubu led the Save Nigeria group to protest against the fuel subsidy removal, or the end of the plan by the then president Goodluck Ebele Jonathan to end the fuel subsidy regime, that is the PMS subsidy. I am well sure that Tinubu, like many of these other top political contenders, or those who are seeking to become president, would have been in the same shoes. Last night I was thinking through it and I said, how else would Tinubu have presented it? Would he have just let it go, let him not include it in the inaugural speech, and then after that go and sign an executive order? Could he have, which other medium would he have used? Because the government is just coming up. So I think it wasn't a careless statement. For it to be part of the speech, it was well thought out. What I think is the issue is that Nigerians were, we have mixed feelings following his emergence as, president-elect and then swearing in. Yes, it is a step in the right direction. I salute the courage of the president, just like the president of Kenya, Ruto, did. We all know that it's a hydra-headed dragon. It's a daredevil that we have to face. It's a difficulty that we have to face now. Well, when I speak like this, people will think that, wonder whether it's the same Chris that has been quite critical of the person of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu and the APC. Well, I've taken my time to study this as a social commentator and all that. It will be very clear that, you see, it is better now than later. The major problem here is that Nigerians have failed to take responsibility. I keep repeating this. Nigerians are either government worker or private worker. Government workers, state workers, or private workers, or traders, and all that. We expect that the moment this is done, just as we have seen, it will affect the market at different strata. The Labour Congress is expecting so many things to be in place. I overheard the Benghazi president on a TV program earlier this morning say that their problem or their quarrel is that they were called to a meeting and they played a fast one on them. You have not tabled the issues before them. You have gone ahead to begin implementation. They were now claiming that the NNPC Limited, is now a private firm. But that is not true. Well, that is partially true. The NNPC, the PIA, still recognizes that government has 100% share in NNPC. So yes, they are trying to make it private. We understand the direction they are going. They're also playing smart. We know these people. They are our friends. They are our brothers. They are our fathers. So we understand them. But the thing is, Nigerians do not run from rain until it begins to start. As like it becomes heavy. This is our nature. Government had harped on the government of the immediate past president had harped on this. We are going to change. We are going to remove subsidy. We already know that it won't go beyond June because there's no provision for it in 2023 Appropriation Act. Let's even say that the president can, the new president can, is definitely going to review the 2023 Appropriation Act. Let's even say that they are going to look at the MTEF, which was supposed to cover between 2021, rather 2022. Yes, the 3 years now, up to 2025, I think.
23 to 25.
2023 to 25. So let's even assume that they want to review because each National Assembly and each government will always want to come back to come and look at it and then consider their interest. I'm particularly interested in the personality of the president. I spent quite a time in Yoruba land and I understand the nature of the Yorubas. That had been my concern as a citizen. You see, this is not to be tribalistic. Those who know me know that I try to avoid that. I'm a bad nationalist. So the sentiment here is that Nigerians don't try. The first thing is that Nigerians don't trust those in government. Nigerians feel that, in fact, you have to work extremely hard for you to convince them why they should trust you. The antecedents of the new president and that of the immediate past, administration has taught Nigerians that they should not trust anybody, particularly because you say one thing to them, you are doing a different thing. So immediately this thing was announced, or the president inferred that this is going to happen, we expect that it will change. So as I was following all the arguments at different levels, I was listening to the Ipman president, and he said that you don't expect that if government is already making plans to remove subsidy by the end of, rather there will be no subsidy regime anymore by the end of June, that all of them will begin to adjust because they buy this petrol from a source. I'm not sure if we have all the time to begin to go into the details as to why we are having this, we are here. How did we get here? I'm not sure if Nigerians everywhere, I'm not sure if our people who are listening understand how we got here. Subsidy regime is a scam. So if, as at this morning, it is the least you can get is 488 naira in Lagos. The reason why that is the official price at NNPC Limited. If you are, that is subject to the nearness to the depot. The reason why we are getting 530 in Anambra, in the southeast mostly, is nearness to, because the cost of transporting, the original cost is 460 naira, 460 something, depending on where you get it from NNPC, because NNPC is now the major supplier So you now calculate the transport fare, that is that big truck, the cost of moving the product from where you are buying it to the state. That's why you have different prices. The north is the longest. The north, somewhere in the north, you have about 50, between 51 and 55 and 60, depending on the location. So if somebody now buys at 52 naira, 520 naira, how much will the person sell? As I was coming here, I saw some people selling 520. I think that's old stock. I agree. Now the ripple effect, why people are quarreling, is that in fact, I was going to somewhere yesterday while the announcement, press statement was released. I was in a keke in Oka, and I paid 150 as a result of the announcement the previous day. As I was returning to my destination, the keke man told me it's 200 naira. I did not need anybody to explain it to me because I understood the implication. So if a woman who sells ose has gone to the market, she paid 100 naira earlier. I watched her, an old woman, argue to the extent that I almost came in to intervene, like to pay the extra money involved. Because they will not understand. And she was telling me that her daughter in Kaduna told her this morning that they are still paying 50 naira. How do you explain it to them? So if the woman that sells ose has to buy it, bought the ose with 5,000 for instance, and has to transport it, do you expect her to sell it at maybe they used to sell at retail at 50 naira before? Do you expect her to sell at 50 naira? She has to do her marginal increase considering the cost of things. So it is going to affect so many things. In fact, the prices of things will definitely skyrocket to up to 200%, depending on where you are. In fact, Ebuka, the cost of transporting yourself from Oka to Abuja now ranges from, as at yesterday, as at last night, ranges from, depending on which kind of vehicle or the company, from 18,000 as at yesterday to 20 to 25, depending on the company. So we expect that there will be those changes. We expect that we are going to have a tolling effect. It's going to have a tolling effect on every one of us. But what I think we should be thinking of are government interventions. You see, the palliative measures that were brought in 2012 were all child's play. They were like, they were not serious. Those buses are everywhere in Abuja, as I'm talking to you. But they are like, government were not serious with it. There are a lot of palliative that were brought in. Even the then governor, Peter Obi, did something in that light. There has to be a well-organized palliative measures, interventions. I think we'll come to that when the opportunity calls. But for now, I think that our people should be looking at the core issues and how we should also deal with the issues of people not exploiting ourselves, as I saw in the other time of cashless, cashless, the monetary policy of currency swap and cashless economy of the subsidy removal. But it is subject to, because he's now a private investor, and I know it will not be so easy. A lot of marathon going on there. I believe that with the daily production of about refining of about 650,000 barrels per day, it might go a long way. However, the government has to do a serious work in the light of determining the daily consumption. It's actually shameful that the National Assembly, the Ninth Assembly, after 17 months of investigation, came up a few days ago to say that they were not able to substantiate or to get to get the details of the quantity of daily consumption in Nigeria. I will advise our people to begin to make adjustments, face the reality. If you are a public servant, if you are a government worker, you will now begin to adjust. You have cooperatives. I'm sure there's something that's circulating on the social space. If you have cooperatives, the cooperatives may now begin to go into making arrangements, given the distances. I think Nigerian Governors Forum should intervene. They need to work seriously. I already saw that the APC Governors Forum has supported, say they are backing the president and the subsidy removal. I know that that is that's politics, but they should also consider the people. The governors, Nigerian Governors Forum, should immediately be convene their meeting and begin to look at things they need to do at the various levels, to help save our people. Otherwise, and then I encourage our people to come down on our ostentatious lifestyle at this particular period of time.